Today we want to go over briefly the constructivist theory of education. Constructivist theory of education. This particular theory was articulated by Dewey back in the early 20th century, as well as Montessori, and you've probably heard of Montessori schools. The idea behind constructivist theory is that most learning is done not abstractly as concepts are put into the brain, but experientially, and that the learner, while exploring the environment and exploring the subject and experientially applying things, basically takes what they already know, currently or in the past, and as the new information comes in, they understand it, interpret it, and apply it based on what they already know, currently or in the past. So new knowledge and ideas are built and constructed on current or past knowledge. So the learner has already learned some things, and based on what they already know, then they process the new material, the new information coming in, and build and construct it on that foundation. Each new thing comes in, gets built on what they knew from the past. So the learner selects and transforms new information based on that current or past knowledge. Now what's interesting about this is that because of that, it's learner-focused, not subject-focused. By that I mean the learner is the one who's sort of in the driving seat, and the teacher becomes the facilitator. So the teacher presents the environment and the information and encourages and helps guide, but doesn't get in the way of the learner exploring that new information and processing it. It's experience-based. In Montessori schools, this is seen very clearly. There are a lot of different areas set up, and the teachers there as facilitators help the children explore those areas as they want to and assist them, but it's learner-driven, not subject-driven. To give an example of this, my own younger sister was in a Montessori school, and she had noticed my father reading the newspaper, and she wondered what reading was. What are these lines on the paper? And my dad explained reading. Well, she went back to the Montessori school, and with the teacher's facilitation, taught herself how to read. The learner was motivated, had the experience, constructed the idea, and was soon able to read on her own, and this is preschool. She knew her alphabet, and she applied it. So it wasn't as if the subject of reading was brought forward and now you're going to read, although sometimes that does have to happen. But the learner said, I want to read, and was motivated therefore to explore that environment, the idea of letters producing sounds, producing words, producing meaning in sentences and paragraphs and whatnot, and proceeded to teach herself to read. Now on the converse side of this, where basically concepts are taught but no experience is given to show how deficient it is, I taught English in Japan for a couple of years, and I was part of a program that taught in the Japanese school system, their public schools, high schools. And in the Japanese education system, the students are required to study English for 6 years. In the process of that, most schools, the teacher's only imparting knowledge, giving the concepts, teaching the grammar. But the language itself is never experientially explored in most schools. So the students come into the English classroom, the teacher comes into the English classroom, the students open their books, and the teacher starts to lecture in Japanese about a point of English grammar. They take copious notes, and then when the time comes for the test, they can describe the grammar in Japanese better than any native English speaker is capable of, almost. They understand the intricacies of our language, but because they never actually speak it, after 6 years of studying English, they can't almost put a sentence together. It's very sad in some ways that they've developed a system that doesn't let the learner explore the language by actually experientially using it. And that's what I was there to do, is to try to introduce the actual use of the language in the classroom and to get the students excited about using the language and therefore really learning it instead of just studying about it. Anyway, those are just a couple examples, one on the positive side, one on the negative side, about constructivist theory. It's experience-based. Dewey and Montessori are behind it. Learner-focused rather than subject-focused. The teacher is there just as a facilitator to help the learner explore and experience that particular environment and subject. And the learner basically selects new information, transforms new information based on current or past knowledge so that new ideas and knowledge are built or constructed then on that foundation of past information. This has just been a basic overview of constructivist theory. If you'd like to learn more about this or related things, underneath this video you'll find a link. If you'll click on that link, it'll take you to the website that has that information, and while you're on that website, you'll also find a link to an ebook that's ready for immediate download.